We'll help you get out of the chair if you need the help.
You got plenty of help.
I would invite you, Matthew, but I'm not sure my leg can even look.
You look pretty in your red. Cute.
Thanks, Zach.
Is that everybody? We're feeling
Okay, I'll just start it. All right, thank you for inviting us here today. I'm Doris Walls, and this is Susan Valentine, and we represent the Stars of Hope Quilts of Valor. Quilts of Valor was begun in 2003 by a quilter named Catherine Roberts when her son was deployed to Iraq. Since that time, over 300,000 quilts have been awarded. Our mission is to honor service members and veterans who have been touched by war with comforting and healing quilts of valor. The quilts are awarded in hospitals, at returning warrior workshops, at homes, and many other venues. Our Stars of Hope group also supplies the Veterans Life Center in Buckner with quilts of valor for their incoming clients. We've supplied that organization with about 75 quilts so far. This quilt is an expression of gratitude, meant to thank you and comfort you. We honor you for leaving all that you hold dear to serve, whether in time of crisis or in times of peace. This quilt of valor unequivocally says thank you for your service, your sacrifice, and valor in serving our nation. Mr. Hunley served in the U.S. Army from 1957 to 1959. He was on standby for the Berlin crisis in 1958 and on alert for the crisis in Lebanon in 1958. He was stationed in Frankfurt, Germany, where he was an artillery surveyor. While in Germany, he was exposed to loud noise level without hearing protection, which resulted in hearing loss. When this happened, he was evaluated and honorably discharged. On behalf of the Quilts of Valor Foundation, we welcome you home and thank you for allowing us to recognize you. We hope this quilt brings you comfort and the knowledge that many others care. Thank you all for coming.
Pretty. That's beautiful. Just beautiful. Oh, it sure is.
So I hope that meets with your approval. Because I pieced it and she long-armed it. So.
wow. So
Very nice.
And there is a label on the back where you can add your name and today's date. Okay, I'm always afraid to do that ahead of time because we never know if something is going to occur.
No, it's so beautiful. You
Oh,
ladies did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
What does it mean, long arm?
So the part of the quilt that you see on the back, the stitching, so the part, there's 3 layers to the quilt: the front, the decorative part, and the back, and then the batting inside that makes it warm. So the 3 layers are put together on a machine that does the stitching part here. The piecing's done on just a regular sewing machine. All the pieces are done together, and then the 3 layers are put together with the long arm machine. It can either be computerized or not.
Okay. Oh, that is.
Yeah, and then we just add the binding, by hand.
Doris
Yeah.
is our group binder.
I do a lot of
She likes to
binding.
sit and do the binding.
I
So,
can't sit still without something to do.
Yeah.
I have to have something to do, so I do a lot of the binding.
so I put the quilts together, and then I say, Doris, come get some of these.
And now you all, you meet in Chapel Hill. is
Right,
that
yes, St. Thomas More.
Okay. Okay.
But Doris and I live about 5 miles apart. She's in Mebane and I'm in Eflin,
Yeah,
so
very
it
close.
works.
This is also a certificate of use.
You want this?
Okay. All right.
The way she runs the air conditioning, it made me.
It'll come in handy in one.
Got a little details.
Yeah, man.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
All right, look up at us, sir.
Dad,
Smile, she
say
can take a
cheesecake.
picture.
Gotta look at him, then look over here.
Perfect.
I certainly thank y'all. This is beautiful.
Well, we hope you enjoy it.
You will, won't you, Dad? Because you get
I
cold.
will. But
People
this,
treasure this, the rest
I
of
think
his
y'all, I
life.
don't hear too good. Y'all was talking about the house. I don't know if you're talking, but its house holds the heat good. That's one good thing about y'all.
That is important.
Oh, when you're cold natured, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Dad, do you want to say anything?
Well, I just heard, I didn't know she had all that information about me, but I don't really know where my hearing went bad at, but I was around more north. This is Fort Sill, Oklahoma. They had the atomic cannon out there, and I don't know what this fired. I don't think they fired the atomic bomb out there, but it was going off loud noise all the time and almost shaky windows out of the buildings. And basic training, you know, you have to crawl infiltration course. You crawl it one time in the morning, as long as a couple of 100 yards, something like that. And in between, they got bunkers that are lined with explosives and things. And crawling them, I was resting, and I was up close to one of them one time, maybe more than that. And I don't really know when I was. In fact, I didn't know I couldn't hear until they tell you.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I went around much firing after I got over there, but we did have to go out. You know, Germany was divided after the war, the Marshall Plan, and Russia claimed half, and we had half, and Berlin was divided. What you just read was when Khrushchev told Eisenhower to get out of Berlin. Of course, we didn't know much about it. We just did what they told us, but we went out and set up, and we were out there a month before. We didn't know what was going to happen, but
Yeah.
we didn't have nothing, and so we came back after that, and then they had the Lebanon and things. Some Marines got killed, and we were put on alert to be ready to go for 24 hours a day for a week. But that was all I had. I didn't really have no combat, nothing like that. And then
You were ready though, if you had to go. You were ready to go.
Yeah.
It was after that happened. I don't know. That was in '68 sometime. And
58.
then they sent me to Frankfurt. I was in Gunsenheim. It's a small town right across the river from Frankfurt in Mainz. Right, Mainz was the big town, the old town. And this Gunsenheim was about 4 or 5 miles outside. And that's where our base was. But I don't remember no loud noise over there. I could have been around some.
Well, you said when you came down in that plane that time.
Oh, yeah. Flying back home, we got to New York airport, and I think it was on Sunday, and they couldn't get a plane, and finally they did get one, and flew us to Fort Jackson, and I think he was kind of ill because he had to come out and fly us back. And he just dropped that plane. This was when I was coming home, straight down. And it's just like somebody's sticking a knife in my head. And I was in the bed for 2 or 3 days before I could get up and be normal. I had an awful headache. And I don't know, but my hearing had already been checked. It had been about 2.5 or 3 months before it came out. And they give me a paper, said I couldn't pull no guard duty, I couldn't do nothing that required good hearing. So I was just what you call obsolete. I was there for about 2.5 months or something like that. And we lived in a cinder block building, we call it concern, and then it was fenced in all around. And it was 4 stories high. And the room we stayed in for surveying was on the 3rd floor. And the 4th floor was in the attic, and we had a study room up there where we studied surveying and much. And I spent most of my time just up in that room. I just didn't do nothing. I thought they'd send me home, but they didn't. But then they told me to file a claim with the VA when I got out, and I did. They've been real nice to me. Thank you.
Would you all like some refreshments? We have light refreshments. You can stay. We would love you to join us. Yeah, I'm gonna wash my hands and start fixing. Yeah.